Alright, welcome to this tutorial. I wanted to look at Max for Live and downloading some of the free packs. Hopefully you've managed to take advantage of Ableton's 90-day free trial that's out at the moment. And that gives you the full software, and actually it gives you Suite, which is the full fat version. You get everything with it for 90 days. One of the key things that we get with Suite is something called Max for Live, and I wanted to look at that today, and also to look at some of the packs that are being given away free. So once you've downloaded and installed Ableton, you'll have a login to get you into the back end of their website, and you'll notice there's a tab called Packs here. If you go to Packs, essentially what it is a bunch of, think of them like sample packs. Some of them are literally sample packs. There's like loops, hip hop, like you would find on Loop Masters or something like that. But also in these packs there are instruments, and a lot of the time they're Max for Live instruments. So there are three that I'd recommend grabbing at the moment. There's this one, Stray Cats Collection. There's another one called Spectral Textures. Notice these ones are free. Some of them you buy, some of them are expensive, some are cheap. Download them. The final one is, if we go down here, it's Creative Extensions. Again, this is new in Live 10. This one I'm going to focus on because it's got some really amazing little kind of beat manipulation things. So you download it. In your downloads folder, it will appear, if I just show in Finder, there it is, Creative Extensions. To install a pack, a live pack, you notice it downloads as an ALP, Ableton Live Pack. To install it, all you need to do is just drag it into Ableton, and it will do its thing there. Great, so it's come up saying finished successfully, but it's already installed. Great, okay. So how do we find them then? Well, on the left hand side in our file browser, there's this Packs tab, and that will link you to all of the packs that you've installed. As you can see, I've got quite a few in here. The Creative Extensions one is what we're going to look at first. If we open it up, we can see that it's got some audio effects, there's some instruments, there's some MIDI effects, and there's some racks which are pre-made effects racks. In the audio effects, there's some things that I've been playing around with a lot, and my two favourites in this pack are the pitch hack. Let me just play this loop that I've got in first dry. Get the idea. Let's put pitch hacker on. Nice simple interface. Let's put it down maybe -8 semitones. And we've got a dry wet control. I'll start off dry and then I'll gradually blend it in, and you'll hear what it's doing. Sounds great. It's a pitch shifter, but it's kind of slicing it as well using these rate controls, and you can get some really nice wonky feels to your beats. If I put it on -6 semitones, and of course you can go up as well. One thing I noticed, it's worth, when you change the semitone, it's worth stopping and starting again, otherwise it runs out, it loses its sync. This recycle is feedback really. It does quite a nice pitch shifting delay type effect. Pretty mad. And you can go quite extreme, of course. It's a great little tool. So that's Pitch Hack. Let's get a color limiter as well. Grab that. It's like the normal Ableton limiter. It's got a loudness control. We know what a limiter is by now. So as you bring the loudness up, it starts to limit more. We'll see that. I really like what it does to the tails of the snare. You can really hear it extending that tail, making it kind of play out longer. Makes the drum sound fatter, for want of another phrase. And of course there's saturation, as all nice coloration things have. And we've got a colour on there, which is an EQ really, filter. It's great. So what's the difference between a Max for Live effect and one of the ones that you get, the stock plugins with Ableton? Well, Max for Live ones, the key difference is that you can edit them. If we click on this little button here, it opens it up in a program called Max MSP, and if you stay on to the 3rd year, I teach this as a module, and we see the kind of interface of Pitch Hacker, but if we unfreeze it, doink, and go to the patching mode, we can actually go inside the plugin and we can start to circuit bend it or rewire it, or you can build your own one completely. Maybe that's cool, but you wanted to add a filter, so you could perhaps go in, maybe get a filter or something, filter, diode ladder, grab it, drop it in. You can start to build your own system. What it means is that if you have Max for Live on Ableton, you've got a basically unlimited amount of different plugins that can be added to Ableton and extend its functionality. And there's some really interesting ones. In fact, many of them I find them more interesting and usable than a lot of bought ones. So that was a quick introduction to the idea of downloading a pack and installing it and then exploring them. So Pitch Hacker and Color Limiter are great in the creative extensions. There's other really good things, but we won't look at everything. There were some in the Stray Cats one, in the audio effects. This color thing is really nice. If I just drag and drop that in. So what's color? Well, it's kind of like a vinylizer. It allows you to either add a bit of vinyl crackle. Let's get the loop playing and we can hear. You get the idea. So it's quite a cool thing for beats, making them sound old and funky, adding a bit of vinyl. There's loads of other vinyl plugins. Isotope do one, but I'm always a bit disappointed by them. But this is actually the first one that I've actually thought, actually, that's pretty good. So other great free ones that are worth downloading and playing around with. Convolution Reverb, it's another free one. It's an Ableton one. And it's a really nice sampling reverb, a convolution reverb, meaning, so the convolution reverb allows you to sample a space. Interesting, there's Arundel Nave there. It's a great sounding reverb. I'll just play a little bit of it. Let's turn off colour for a sec. Huge sound there, of course. Made for drums. There's some really nice things in here. Lovely, that one, just to add a bit of air and space to an otherwise quite dry drum sound. I'll just take it away just so you notice what it does. So lovely reverb, one of my favourites. Some really nice things in there. And some pretty wacky ones in there as well. It's convolution, meaning you can sample anything. In fact, we can, if we wanted to, take a sample of something. Maybe let's take a random recording and drop it on, and it turns any recording into a reverb. So Convolution Reverb is great. CV Tools, if you own a hardware analog device that has CV in or out, these are great. They allow you to connect it directly to Ableton. So get yourself a login, go onto the packs page and start exploring. Great. So hopefully that gives you some ideas and ways of extending your Ableton. If you've not used any of the packs before, definitely recommend getting any of these packs, download them and have a play around with them. They often come with quite a few plugins. Some are maybe not that interesting, but there's always one little diamond in there that generates new musical ideas, which is what we all want. So give it a go. Get yourself on the trial if you haven't already. Get a suite, because that gives you access to Max for Live, and then start downloading the packs and installing them. All right, cheers.